You study for hours, still forget stuff, still blank out on tests. Meanwhile, James Bond, he's fluent in 7 languages, can recall every weapon spec by heart, and diffuses bombs while people scream in the background. It's not just movie magic. He's trained to learn under pressure, fast, sharp, locked in, and guess what? MI6 has been gatekeeping these insane brain hacks for years, but today, we're breaking in and stealing them for ourselves. So now listen up. Knowledge agents, you. Yeah, you. Don't look around. This mission's for you, Agent. Your mission starts now. This is no ordinary transmission. And still watching? That's not random. It's meant for you. Maybe this is your sign to switch things up. You're not alone on this mission. Tag your fellow agents, your study buddies, your chaos-loving classmates. We're building a squad of high-performing minds, and it starts right here, right now. Forget flashcards and textbooks you barely touch. Let's get into some real spy-level stuff. And if you're wondering about my sources, I'd tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. The first hack. Operation Dream Hack. So, you remember in Skyfall when our guy Bond gets captured and they start trying to break his mind with all that intense psychological stuff? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But here's the thing. Bond's mind isn't just superhuman. It's trained to process and recall information faster than you can blink. And the best part? You can hack your brain to do the same thing. Turns out your brain is most hackable when you're sleeping. I know, sounds pretty wild, right? But spies actually have a term for this. They call it subconscious programming, but I like to call it Netflix for your brain while you drool on your pillow. Here's how to pull off your own Operation Dream Hack. Use theta wave sounds before you crash. Don't worry, YouTube has tons of these. These waves help get your brain into the perfect state to absorb information while you sleep. Kind of like a secret transmission being sent straight to your brain's database. Review your material right before you hit the pillow. Read your notes or look at that textbook for a couple of minutes. It's like loading your brain with important data while it's in sleep mode. Your mind does the work for you as you drift off. Create your trigger word. Here's where it gets interesting. Pick a random word and whisper it to yourself as you fall asleep. Sounds random, right? But it works. My trigger word? Pineapple. I know it sounds goofy, but trust me, the next day when I say pineapple, my brain just unlocks all the info I studied before. It's like I just typed in a cheat code for my memory. And get this, it totally works in real life. I could be walking through the grocery store about to grab a bunch of bananas and then boom. I suddenly remember every Spanish word I've ever studied. Yeah, it gets a little awkward when I start speaking Spanish to the cashier, but at least I know it works. Now let's take it up a notch. Mission. Chaos Protocol. Alright, listen up. Bond doesn't sit in some silent library flipping through notes like the rest of us. He can count cards while being poisoned, dodge explosions, and still pull off a perfect poker hand. That's the kind of multitasking he's doing under pressure. Here's the secret. Your brain? It's lazy in silence. When there's no chaos, it just kind of zones out. But throw it into a storm of distractions? Suddenly, it's all in, sharpening every sense, figuring out how to survive and getting things done. So, how do you unlock this superpower? Simple. Start studying in the middle of some noise. Think coffee shop buzz, or better yet, crank up an action movie soundtrack. Your brain will freak out for a bit, like, what's happening? But then it'll realize it has to adapt and focus if it wants to get anything done. And here's the kicker. After a few minutes, turn it up even louder. It's like throwing your brain into a firefight. It has to keep its focus or it's toast. Every time the noise increases, your brain will adapt to block it out and sharpen its focus. It's like training to think in a war zone where everything's exploding around you, but you're still laser focused. Now, quick story. I was studying for my calculus exam once while the Fast and Furious was blaring in the background. My roommate thought I was nuts. He had his noise-canceling headphones on, sitting there all chill with his flashcards. But guess who aced the exam? Yep, me, he didn't. Moral of the story, chaos is your ally. If you can focus through noise, distractions, and absolute mayhem, you can focus anywhere. And now, it's time for the game changer. Hack number 3, the Skyfall Method. Alright, let's talk about how Bond remembers all those complex bioweapon formulas in no time to die after seeing them just once. Is he a genius? Maybe, but here's the secret. He's using a spy trick known as the Memory Palace. It's not movie magic. It's a real technique, and spies use it all the time. Here's how it works. Bond uses his childhood home, Skyfall, as a mental map. Every room in the house is connected to different information. So when Bond needs to remember something, he mentally walks through Skyfall. Each room triggers a memory, and just like that, he recalls whatever he needs. Now, how can you apply this to your own studies? Easy. Pick your own Skyfall. It doesn't have to be a mansion. It could be your apartment, dorm room, or even your favorite cafe. The key is that it's a place you know inside and out. Next, assign specific information to places or objects within that space. For example, bathroom mirror equals formulas or equations. Every time you look in the mirror, your brain gets a reminder. Desk equals key facts or concepts you're trying to memorize. It becomes your personal vault of knowledge. Doorway. Vocabulary words. Every time you walk through the door, it's like flipping through a flashcard. I use this method for my entire history final. I mentally stored everything in my apartment, so now every time I look in the mirror, I'm reminded of key historical dates. My bathroom has become a mini museum of history. No fancy exhibits, just a bunch of solid facts. Ready for the ultimate move? Hack number 4, the 007 switch up. Alright, let's talk about Bond's secret sauce for being a master at everything. From hacking high-tech systems to taking down bad guys with martial arts, and somehow making wine tasting look like an art form, all in the same scene. Sounds like a superpower, right? Well, it's not magic. The real trick is that Bond switches between skills constantly. Think of it like training in a spy boot camp, where you're forced to learn multiple things in a short amount of time, leveling up each skill by forcing your brain to adapt quickly. Here's how you can do it. Start by picking one subject and dive into it for exactly 15 to 20 minutes. No more, no less. This tight time frame forces your brain to stay focused and absorb everything quickly. Switch immediately to something totally different. For example, jump from studying physics to something completely unrelated like art history. That mental switch up keeps your brain on its toes, and trust me, it helps you retain information better in the long run. Repeat the process. Jump between subjects every 15 to 20 minutes. It's like constantly rebooting your brain, forcing it to adapt to new types of info each time. When I tried this, I started with physics, all those mind-bending formulas, and then switched to poetry. Talk about a mental shift. Now, I can explain relativity in one breath and casually quote Shakespeare in the next. Is it useful? Probably not unless I get invited to a Nobel Prize dinner. But hey, at least it's a conversation starter. Now you have the blueprint, so next time you're sitting there staring at your textbook wondering why even try with studying, just remember these spy hacks. They might not turn you into 007 overnight, dodging bullets and saving the world next week. But I can promise that these techniques might just save you from flunking that exam you've been avoiding. 1. Operation Dream Hack. Learn while you sleep using specific frequencies to program your brain. Just like Bond extracts intel in the most secretive ways, you can secretly improve your memory while you sleep. 2. Mission Chaos Protocol. Train your brain to focus even under pressure. Just like Bond keeps his composure when everything goes haywire, you'll master studying with distractions and stay sharp in the loudest environments. 3. The Skyfall Method. Use the Memory Palace technique to associate information with places you know. Like Bond navigating Skyfall, you'll map out your study material in your own mental mansion, making it easy to recall under stress. Last, the 007 switch up. Switch between subjects like Bond switches between missions. Keep your brain on its toes by alternating topics so you're always adapting, just like the agent himself. So, why not give it a shot? Alright agents, it's mission time. Drop a comment below with your codename, you know you need one now, and tell me which of these secret agent hacks worked best for you. Was it Operation Dream Hack that turned your brain into a supercomputer while you slept? Or maybe Mission Chaos Protocol helped you power through distractions like a true Bond agent? I want to know. And hey, if some men in black suits show up asking how you got so smart all of a sudden, just look them in the eye, say, "The chicken crosses at midnight," and walk away like the spy you are. Trust me, they'll leave you alone. Oh, and don't forget, smash that subscribe button before this video self-destructs in